Donald Trump makes a push in Florida. GOP nominee to headline 5 rallies in 3 days in the battleground, Democrats appear to gain traction in the state's mail-in voting. As Donald Trump's sway to the administration seems to contract, the GOP candidate on Sunday dug in Florida, one of a modest bunch of swing states that surveys recommend stay focused. Mr. Trump is slated to feature 5 arouses more than 3 days in the country's biggest battleground, where more than 1 million voters have effectively sent in tickets. In-person early voting starts Monday. In one conceivably unpropitious sign for Mr. Trump, Democrats are standing their ground against Republicans in mail-in polls in Florida, a method of voting that the GOP customarily commands, as indicated by University of Florida political science educator Daniel A. Smith. The state reports the gathering association of individuals sending back polls. The more footing Democrats pick up in early voting, the harder it will be for Mr. Trump to get up to speed, regardless of the possibility that surveys contract close Election Day. At a rally Sunday in the intensely Republican retirement group of Naples, Mr. Trump said his battle in Florida looks amazing. He likewise said surveys around the nation are disparaging his support among ladies. "We are going to win the considerable condition of Florida and we are going to win back the White House," Mr. Trump said in a region where Republicans dwarf Democrats by a 2-to-1 proportion. "There is similar eagerness everywhere throughout the nation. They've never observed anything like it." Surveys demonstrate various crucial states disappearing from Mr. Trump, except for Iowa, where despite everything he drives Democrat Hillary Clinton. The race stays tight in the problem areas of Ohio, North Carolina, and Nevada, where a Las Vegas daily paper possessed by gambling club very rich person and Trump benefactor Sheldon Adelson, supported the GOP chosen one, an uncommon gesture from the press when even numerous traditionalist article sheets have rejected him. Overviews additionally indicate nearer than anticipated races in customarily dependably Republican states, including Arizona, Georgia, and Utah. In Texas, last conveyed by a Democrat in 1976, Mrs. Clinton is trailing by just 3 focuses, as indicated by another CBS News Battleground Tracker survey. However, different surveys demonstrate Mr. Trump ahead there by 5 to 8 rate focuses. "We are behind," Mr. Trump's battle supervisor, Kellyanne Conway, said Sunday on NBC, referring to Mrs. Clinton's $66 million in advertisements in September and a group of powerful surrogates. "She's viewed as the office holder. So our favorable position going in when we're behind is that Donald Trump is simply going to keep on taking the case straightforwardly to the general population." Mr. Trump will show up in northern and focal parts of Florida on Monday and Tuesday, while the Clinton crusade tries to drive up turnout in the more liberal Southern District. Mrs. Clinton is arranging a rally Tuesday in Broward County, which has a larger number of Democrats than whatever other Florida region, 2 days after an appearance there by her significant other, previous President Bill Clinton. Bad habit presidential chosen one Tim Kaine is booked to battle Monday in neighboring Miami-Dade County. Mr. Trump's difficulties are aggravated by new indications of GOP disunity. At Sunday's Florida rally, Mr. Trump said thanks to the group for helping me re-choose Republicans everywhere, except he didn't specify send. Marco Rubio, a previous opponent for the GOP selection looking for a re-race. Mr. Rubio has declined to crusade with Mr. Trump. The quarrel between Mr. Trump and Representative Paul Ryan of Wisconsin escalated Saturday when an article assaulting the House Speaker showed up on the preservationist site Breitbart.com, which was controlled by Trump guide Steve Bannon before he joined the crusade. The article denounced Mr. Ryan of attempting to attack the Trump crusade and of being allied with the previous Secretary of State on globalist strategies. "This is absolute insane talk," said Ryan Representative Zach Rode. Speaker Ryan's attention is on beating Democrats, including Secretary Clinton. Mr. Ryan said as of late he would not safeguard anymore or battle with Mr. Trump, while various other noticeable Republicans out and out pulled supports of the gathering's chosen one. The uprising took after the exposure of a 11-year-old tape of Mr. Trump gloating that his star control permitted him to make undesirable lewd gestures and number of ladies approaching to say he did only that. A gay Republican PAC on Saturday withheld its support of the gathering's chosen one interestingly since 2004, when President George W. Shrubbery upheld a protected correction prohibiting same-sex marriage in his re-race crusade. The president of the Log Cabin Republicans, Gregory T. Angelo, referred to Mr. Trump's proposed restriction on Muslim displaced people and the different assertions of sexual offense against him. "The mission of the Log Cabin Republicans is to bolster equity for all Americans, and that implies all Americans, writ substantial," Mr. Angelo said. Since the third presidential verbal confrontation, Mr. Trump has likewise accepted the consequences for declining to focus on tolerating the after-effects of the decision on the off chance that he loses. He has said he was recently claiming all authority to challenge the outcome in the event that it is close or polluted by voter misrepresentation. Commentators said his unwarranted allegations are harming trust in the constituent framework. "It's fixed. It's broken. It's degenerate," Mr. Trump said Sunday in Florida. "They need me to take that back." Republican Party Chairman Reince Priebus on Sunday played down charges that the decision is fixed, saying the gathering will be sensible in surveying the after-effects of the November 8 vote. "Losing by 100 votes is a certain something," Mr. Priebus said on CBS's Face the Nation. "Losing by 100,000 is an alternate thing. I think we can be sensible on this issue." Mr. Trump's child Eric sounded a comparative note on ABC's This Week, saying, "Tune in, if it's a reasonable result, he will totally acknowledge it. There's no doubt." Mr. Trump made a typical outing Saturday to the storied combat zone of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. The battle charged the discourse as his end contention and motivation for his initial 100 days in office, yet that message was dominated by Mr. Trump's